What's up, everybody? Happy Whoa, That's Good Wednesday. I hope you're having a great week, but it is about to get so much more fun because I have my sister-in-laws on the podcast today, and we're going to be talking all about love, dating, engagement, marriage, all the fun things. So welcome, Abby and Mary Kate, to the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
This is the first time with this duo.
I know.
So it's fun.
It is fun.
I'm excited about it.
Abby, what other times have you been on the podcast?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Will and I did something together at one point, and then I feel like that may have been it.
I was about to say, I was like, or when
Girl time.
I feel like I've watched several, and Will's been in several that I've just been here to watch, but I haven't been in actually a lot, but it feels like I have.
It feels like you have.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't we do a girls one with the mom? Were you in that at one point? Maybe not.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Well, welcome to your big debut.
Thanks.
You have been taking TikTok by storm. I've been seeing a lot of people say you're their favorite Robertson. No offense to me and you. But for good reason. It's been fun. I always tell you this, but you're my favorite TikTok follow and pretty much the only one I actually follow. I follow people, but I always forget about TikTok. And then I'm like, oh, I need to go see what Will and Abby have posted. Mm-hmm. And then I get inspired, and you probably are annoyed by this, and then I do all the ones that y'all did.
No, I'm not annoyed by it at all. I think it's funny.
I know. I'm like, this is the only place I find my trends are Will and Abby's page.
Y'all are the trendsetters.
Y'all really are. So
Just follow the trends.
Hey, that's okay.
We like put our spin on trends, but I think that's what everybody does.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's fun.
it really is true. And y'all are good dancers too.
Thanks.
I know. I didn't know Will had it in him.
Will does. He just needs a little bit of coaching.
You just bring it out of him well.
Yeah. Maybe I bring it out of it.
You're a good coach though, because you did dance since you were a baby, huh?
Mm-hmm. I did dance for 10 years, and I did it for 4 or 5 years competitively. So
Wow.
yeah, so
Actually,
I
how's
just
that?
pick
I
up
knew you did it for a long time.
Yeah,
but
I
didn't know
pick
you
up
competed.
choreography really quickly, I feel like, and I just know how to explain it because it's been explained to me for so long. So
That's helpful because that's why I ask you about the TikTok trends, because I don't know why. When I'm watching it, I guess because it's mirrored, I have a hard time figuring out where my body's supposed to be. And you always pick it up and you're like, no, it's just like this. I'm like, oh, okay. Mary Kate, we had our day before TikTok when we would post our dance videos to YouTube.
We did.
that's bold.
Forgot about
It
that.
was bold.
That's bold.
We only did it once.
Well, Will was who made that beat for us. Remember?
Oh, yeah. I still
I do remember. Yeah. Have you never seen that?
No, I need to see
is
this.
it still on YouTube? Okay,
I hope
pause.
so.
I think it was on your Instagram.
We're gonna have to speed this thing up, but I just have to see if this is on the internet still, because I want to
was on
say
your Instagram.
it did better than it should.
No,
have.
it was it actually did. It was weird, but it was really fun.
It was really
I think
fun.
it was on your. I think you posted it. I don't even know if you can.
Oh yeah.
Did you find it?
Oh yeah.
my gosh,
9
you're
years
fast.
ago, 372,000 views on
This one?
YouTube.
This one. Oh, that's Will in the back.
Before there was TikTok.
Crazy.
Me and Mary Kate were vibing.
I cannot.
We made this choreography
crazy.
up.
I've never laughed this hard at it though. I always thought it was so cool.
It was good. And we had our plaid skirts around our waist. Oh no. There's more.
That's not me though, is it? That's just you.
That's someone I haven't talked to her in so long. I didn't know I attached that to the backside of that video. I'm officially crying.
It seems like every time I've been on here, I end up laughing, crying.
I know.
Last time it was Rebecca though.
Rebecca will make you laugh till you cry. That is a shame because I work my butt off on this podcast and put out great content, and that gets 375,000 views. Come on. Give it to us. Can this podcast exceed that view? That is so funny. Okay, now I gotta get my mascara off. I totally don't even know how I thought about that in this moment. Okay, anyways, back to Abby actually being a really impressive choreographer on TikTok. And the fact that we're actually going to talk about relationships. Will and Abby have become TikTok, like y'all are a couple people follow and love. But not everybody probably knows your origin story, how y'all started dating, how y'all met. So tell us a little bit about you and Will's love story.
Yeah, I feel like everybody asks us all the time and we just like give the short version. But we met our sophomore and junior year of high school. I was a sophomore, Will was a junior. And we were just friends for a super long time. We met in youth group and we just had a blast just being friends together. We were in lots of different small groups together. And we soon realized that we were a little bit more than friends. We were crushing on each other a good bit and got together our junior and senior year right before COVID happened. And COVID happened and we our first date, we went up to the top of a parking garage because everything was closed. We couldn't go out to eat anywhere. So we picked up food and went to the top of the parking garage and had our first date, and everything just kind of happened after that. We did long distance.
Which this is coming back to me now because y'all dated in secret for a little bit.
Yeah, I do remember
really
that.
Secret. Will just didn't tell anybody
tell
about
anyone
it.
for months.
Yeah, which
it was COVID, so it was a weird
unusual
time.
for our family because we see each other so often. And it was like, what?
Yeah.
Hold on. Huh?
I remember that. That was
crazy.
fun and exciting.
That was exciting.
Yeah.
So when y'all were crushing on each other, who made the first move to let the other one know, hey, I kind of like you?
I think it was me. I honestly don't even remember really the details of it, but yeah, I think it was me. I kind of was like, do you not see what's going on here? What are we doing?
Sometimes I think the girl has to just call it the way they're seeing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes the boys, I think the boy should pursue, but I think the girl can give them confidence to do the pursuing. Hey,
Yeah.
I like you. I'd like to be pursued by you.
Yeah.
It's funny because Will's back in the distance in this podcast studio, and I
Trying
keep
to
glancing at him.
ignore.
And I'm like, who made the first move? You're like, I don't know. Will's like, her.
Yeah.
Hey, no shame in that. No shame in that at all. I love that. That's so sweet. So then how long did y'all date for before you got engaged?
We dated for, 2.5 years, maybe 3. Yeah, I think close to 3 years before we got engaged.
Because y'all were just, I guess, still in high school.
We were in high school, and then we did long distance for his first year of college while I finished high school. And then I moved to Lynchburg and did college at Liberty for a year. So that's already a year and 10 months. Yeah, so.
Okay, I have a funny question. I'm going to ask you all these same questions too, Mary Kate. But when you look back at y'all's dating season versus how y'all are now, did y'all date differently? Were y'all more romantic? Were y'all more whatever? Because when I think about Bella and Jacob, it cracks me up. Just think about Bella and Jacob now. Okay, Bella and Jacob went stargazing on their first date. That is hilarious to me because that is really so not something I can see Bella and Jacob doing now necessarily.
I don't think anyone would be more extreme.
I know
the difference than
they were so young, romantic, falling in love, and they're still so in love, but they're so funny together and kind of make just funny jokes about each other, towards each other, but they're best friends. But I can't see them doing that, and it being as serious and cute as it was then. Do you feel like you dated the same, or?
I feel like we're a little bit of the same, but we were way more romantic and just falling in love more back then. Not to say things aren't romantic now, but we just were more intentional with it.
Yeah.
Which is something we need to get back to, but
yeah. It's your dating time. I feel like we were a lot more, I don't know, maybe goofy in a sense together, because when you have kids, there's so much you're doing that you don't create spaces to just be your silly, goofy self. But when we were dating, Christian and I, we went on so many car rides because we were long distance. So whenever we would drive from like Nashville to Auburn or Auburn to Nashville, that was like 4 hours in the car together. And we would just like jam out, like dance, laugh, like just be crazy. And we haven't done that in so long. Well, recently we went to Ruston. It was like right before I had Kit. And we listened to the craziest, like funniest throwback 2000s the whole way there and the whole way back. So like an hour, and we just danced. We were laughing our heads off, and we were like, gosh, we need to do this more. Like, it's so good for the soul. Yeah. Sometimes you like forget what you did when you were dating, and it's good to remember because, hey, maybe Bella and Jacob will hear this and be like, we should go stargazing. And if you do, you're welcome. Mary Kate, tell us about how you and John Luke met, because a lot of people know, but a lot of people don't know. You know that feeling when a new year rolls around and you're like, okay, this is my year. That is exactly what Liberty University is all about, helping you step into your purpose with confidence and faith. Liberty has been training champions for Christ for over 50 years. They offer more than 700 degree programs, both on campus and online, with tons of flexibility for busy people, even moms juggling all the things. And they work hard to keep tuition low and offer great scholarship opportunities. So if you've been thinking about college, you have got to go to college for a weekend and check it out. It's your chance to visit Liberty's campus, tour the dorms, sit in the classes, and experience the Liberty life for yourself. Spring 2026 dates are February 19th through the 21st and April 9th through 11th. And being a Well That's Good podcast listener comes with some serious perks. Liberty will waive your application fee. The college for a weekend registration is actually free. And starting now, you can also win one of multiple scholarships in the $50,000 Sadie Scholarship giveaway. Hello. We actually announced this scholarship on stage during LO Sister Conference a couple weeks ago, and we are so pumped about it. Y'all, this is just awesome. If you are looking to go to college and you have been touring other places, Liberty is incredible. I have just had the best experience. My siblings have had the best experience. I even got to do some online stuff with them. It was a wonderful way that they go about it, but also their in-person campus is stunning. So if you're thinking about this, now is the time to get involved. Go to liberty.edu/Sadie to enter for the $50,000 Sadie Scholarship giveaway. Plan your trip to campus and step into your future with confidence. Don't wait. Head over to liberty.edu/Sadie today.
Yeah, we met, I guess we were both 15, maybe at the time, 14 or 15. We were 15 at church camp, but a different camp. So, John Luke runs Camp Chuka now, and that's where he grew up. But this was the one summer he came to the camp I grew up at. And so we met at camp, but we lived in like 2 different towns, and then just became friends. We were good friends that week at camp. And then a year, I went to my same school that year, and then next year I ended up at the school where y'all were. And not for him or anything, but I always like preface that, like we didn't really keep in contact or anything at all. Like I just ended up at school over there, and so we picked back up there, and we started dating, I think right before I turned 18. Yeah, so we were 17 and 18. Dated for like maybe 6 months, got engaged, got married when we were 19.
What was y'all's dating season like?
Yeah, it was interesting because I was thinking back when you were asking her who made the first move, and I was just laughing because I know you've heard this before, but John Luke, when we were very good friends for a while before we started dating, like a good year, we were very good friends, and I wasn't interested in being anything more than friends, and we were in the car together. We had driven to church together for like Wednesday night, like youth group, and usually my sister was in the back seat of the car, but for some reason she wasn't there. And he like reaches his hand over. This is just like out of nowhere. He just like reaches his hand over and grabs my hand. And I just like pulled it right away.
What did he say?
So I don't know. That's all I remember. I mean, it was 12 years ago, something like that now. But literally, he reaches over and I just slipped it out.
That is just so sat there. How did y'all circle back?
So then after that, I was adamant. I was like, well, if we're gonna be friends and you're going to youth group or anything with me, like my sister, you're gonna be in the back car. So I always made sure, I was like, Kelly, you have to come ride you've got to be with us. We've got to make sure this doesn't
Where was I? I was always there too back in the day.
That was going to church in Delhi, though.
Oh, okay.
So that was the only time I feel like you weren't there.
He was.
So he would drive over there with us
was
sometimes.
definitely
He was trying to help with our youth group. We were trying to like build up our youth group a little bit
Okay.
at the time. So that was the reasoning. Yeah. So then we ended up having a heart to heart, and I told him, I said, John Luke, look. We are not dating. We are not ever going to be anything more than friends. You just need to understand that. And he finally, it took that for him to like take the hint. Well, then it was like probably a month or 2 or 3 shortly afterwards where I was like, well, then I was missing him when he was gone. And I remember then we talked about it and I was like, I think I do like him. I think I tried to tell myself I didn't, but I do. So then I had to humble myself and because he had backed off at that point. So I had to circle back and be like, okay, I actually do like you.
Oh,
so then we had another heart to heart about that. And then we started dating. Yeah. March, got engaged in October, got married the next June.
That is so, I remember that all like so clearly. I remember, well, first, you might have not wanted to date him because I was like, no, y'all cannot date because we were all like best friends. And I was like, John, like, you're going to ruin this. You're going to ruin this, which is so funny because Bella was the same way with me with Christian. When Bella and Christian were friends and I wanted to date Christian and Bella's like, you're going to ruin it. You're going to ruin our friendship, which is great because it worked out for both of us. But the fear is obviously like, they're your friend. What if you break up and then it's awkward? Yeah. But I remember like, I would spend the night at y'all's house all the time and your mom would buy us like ice creams for each of us. It was the praline and cream or whatever. And we all had like our names on our ice cream and John would be coming over and I'd be like, there's no ice cream for you. Like, why are you here? You know, and I could tell he was like crushing on you. But I love your point of you had to humble yourself and come back and tell him because I feel like girls find themselves in that situation a lot. I actually know a friend who is in that situation where the guy liked her and she didn't like him and he had asked her out. She said no. And now she actually thinks she might like him. And she's like waiting on him to come around again. And I'm like, well, you already said no. So you're going to have to be the one this time to come back. Yeah, you got to communicate that because all he knows is that you don't like him and that hasn't changed. So there does have to come a point where it's like you admit, okay, I have feelings for you now. And it's very inspiring to anyone who's ever been in the friend zone or put someone in the friend zone that you can't get out of it. Yeah. But you got to have some conversations to get out of it. That's good. Okay, let's get to the engagement. Abby, how did Will give us the details? This is a podcast. You can give us the details of the day.
It actually, so going into our engagement, I knew we were going to get engaged soon. I didn't know when. And I was like, Will, all I want is to actually be surprised. Because I was like, I figure everything out. Nobody can ever surprise me because I'm just nosy naturally. And I was like, I just want to be surprised. And he pulled it off. He figured out, well, one, everybody was lying to me, which I just was shocked by after, but I asked for it. So it was just funny and weird. Will took me up to the top of the parking garage where we had our first date and had everything set up. 2 of my best friends were in town and set everything up. And then, that's where he popped the question. And I was so surprised. Yes. He had told me that the ring wasn't ready and he didn't know when it was going to be ready. And he did it on my birthday. And I was not expecting that on my birthday because I just was like, he's probably not going to do anything on my birthday. But he told me we were going to dinner and which looking back, hindsight, you know everything. My mom was like, are you sure you want to wear that? And I was like, Mom, what is wrong with my outfit? Like, do you not like it? She was like, so it's fine. Like, I was just making sure. And then my best friend hadn't talked to me all day. And I was like, it's my birthday. She's not talking to me. Like, what in the world? He had surprised me, her coming in too. So yeah, it was all a surprise. He got me good. And
isn't it funny? Like hindsight, you're like, man, it was so obvious. But in the moment, like,
I don't know how I didn't know.
Everybody was telling me like, how did you not know? Yeah. Literally everyone came into town. And I was like, I just thought they really came for my birthday because me and Christian were having that big party. And I was like, I mean, it was a fun party. I just thought everybody was coming for the party. And I thought the same thing. I just didn't think he would do it on our birthday. When I say our birthday, Christian's birthday is June 9th. Mine's June 11th. We had our party together. And Christian had said beforehand that he did, which now I know he did this to throw me off, but he had said like he just wanted it to be us when he proposes. Like he just wanted to be very private, which isn't normally my style. I'm more like, I want everybody to be around, but I was like, that would be really sweet. I totally get that. So like we kind of agreed on that. And so I just did not think he would do it like when all of our friends, all of our family were here, because I just been thinking it was going to be like a private moment. But he did make it private. We like went to the farm away from the party. And by the time we were leaving, I knew what was happening at that point. But I did not think it was happening that day.
I didn't know until he took my blindfold off that it was like the real deal. I thought he was surprising me with my best friend, which was a good alternative.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's really sweet.
it was fun.
That is so sweet. Okay, Mary Kate, it's quite a few years ago.
Well, I got to think back, but I just don't even know if y'all realize how shocking it was for me.
I do remember how shocking.
Like, I don't think anyone could have been as surprised that I was and still had said yes. Like, that's how shocking, like, it was, because we had talked. I'm telling you, I never apparently know what's going on. Same with that conversation with John Luke saying, we're never going to be anything more than friends. We had talked the weekend before he proposed in the car. And I said, yeah, I feel like, maybe we should, like, I wanted to marry him, but I wasn't like, did not think we were close to that.
But your parents got married older.
Yes.
So you weren't used to, like, our family had all got married so young.
Yes.
That was,
and
like,
I was literally 18.
very different.
18, and he was like my first boyfriend.
Yeah.
So it was just like, I told him, I said, yeah, I mean, I guess we could probably, we could start talking about when we want to get married, maybe sometime next year. And he literally had the ring
in his pocket
that day. And he said, he was like, man, I am about to rock her world. And he did.
I remember that because I remember, like, I was like, Joey, did you not think, like, maybe it's not the right time? Like, when she said that, he's like,
Nope.
No. I just thought this is about to rock her world.
I was just absolutely like shocked. Even the night, I mean, even when I said yes, well, setting the scene, it was his birthday. So same, like, and I didn't think anything about it because like a lot of our family, both of our families were going to be there and I didn't think anything about it. And I went, so all of y'all were out at the farm already.
I just, that was during Dancing with the Stars. So me and Derek, because it was switch up week. Derek Huff. He was there.
So random.
Flew in because of the engagement.
Yeah.
But it seemed like for his party.
Yeah. So we went, but we met at your parents' house, and I was everyone was already out at the farm, and we were gonna ride together. Yeah. And he was like, "Oh, I actually have something for you," and he made me like a photo book of all of our pictures, which all of our pictures being from like the 6 months we had been dating.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long, except there were a few
what
from
kind
camp.
of camera did he put up? It was like
a GoPro.
Yeah, it was like a GoPro in the corner.
It was a GoPro. Yeah, I forgot. We do have that. And so I was like flipping through it. Y'all, I mean, I'm not thinking anything, flipping through it. And the last picture is a ring. And then he gets down and he proposes. And I just remember thinking that moment, I'm like, I'm saying yes right now because I do want to marry you, but I'm not putting any time frame.
Well, I remember the first thing you said, now?
That was, yeah. He said, will you marry me? I was like, now?
And then you said
I
yes.
said yes. And then I said yes.
That was crazy.
It was crazy.
It was a shocker because it was like Bella got married at 18. Mom and Dad got married at 18. Two moms, two Bo got married at 18. Mama Kay and Bella Phil were like 15 and 16. Like we come from a line of like everybody getting married at that age. So 18 didn't seem crazy. But 18 is so young. Like that is wild. That is crazy. Yeah. And so no wonder, and y'all had just had that conversation. Yeah. So, okay, if it's okay for me to ask, because maybe some people feel that way. It's like a rushed process, or maybe they feel like, whoa, I'm so young, or I know I want to marry. Is it the time yet? Looking back, like, what would you say to someone in that scenario? By now, you probably know the Robertsons are all about good food and big family meals. So between sweet potato pie and Christmas cookies, it's easy to feel like I'm living on sugar this time of the year. That's where AG1 totally saves me. It's a daily nutritional drink with a whole spectrum of micronutrients that fill those gaps a holiday diet definitely can leave behind. Just one scoop and it supports steady energy with superfoods and B vitamins and gut balance with prebiotics, probiotics, and enzymes. I don't have to juggle a dozen supplements or complicated prep routine. It is all in one and seriously so simple. There's so much more time to spend making memories with loved ones and worrying about, all the things that you're eating to get the right nutrition. This is just an easy thing to fit into your routine. They also have great travel packs that make it easy for holiday travel. You can put them in your purse, put them in your bag, easy to put in a water bottle, drink that, and you got it for the day. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, then you know AG1 has been a constant in our house for years now. It's such a game changer. I am not about adding complicated things into my day. Life is already complicated. You have so many things going on. So I'm like, easy as possible, but also I want to feel good. I want to feel my best. Head to drinkag1.com/whoa to get a free welcome kit with an AG1 flavor sampler and a bottle of vitamin D3 plus K2 when you first subscribe. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while too, I just wanted to say there's some updated flavors that maybe you haven't tried yet. And like I said, updated travel packs, just a new gen AG1. So definitely try it again. If you haven't tried it in a while, there's a lot of new things that you should check out. So that's drinkag1.com/whoa.
Yeah, I just remember thinking, like, when I said yes, I was like, I know this is the right person, and like, we'll figure out the timing. Mm-hmm. And I just was kind of like, I just felt like God was in it. He was in our relationship. And so I was just, my mindset was, and we probably picked a date within the next 24 hours, and we picked it for the following June. And I remember thinking, okay, I feel good about John Luke. I feel good about marrying him. I feel like, God, you're going to just pave the way, for this process. And then if we're, if we're not feeling ready, like, then you just push it back or you move it. Like, I don't know, just trusting that in the process, God was going to bring us both to be ready for it.
It's so cool to see you now, like, I guess, how many years later?
10
years later. And like, look at the family y'all have created, sitting here pregnant with twins, like that y'all really did go on the journey together.
We did.
And you leaned into the Lord, and like, y'all have such an amazing, beautiful family that you've created from that, So yeah, it started a little bit like, whoa.
It did. And we were talking recently about just getting married young, and it's just crazy. We've been married for 10 years. And I feel like getting married young, I don't have any regret of doing it, but I do think one of the pluses you could have of waiting is just saving some heartache between the two of you, because we still had so much growth to do as people. And I feel like we hurt each other, in immaturity. Like that's can be the price that you pay with getting married so young. Yeah. Not that I regret it at all. Wouldn't change it. Yep. But I do think in the growing that you get to do together, there's so much fun in that. But then the hard part of it can be like the growing pains. Yeah. You feel each other's too. Yeah. You feel your own, but you also feel each other's.
Yep. That's so real.
So yeah, that's my only thing thinking back about getting married young.
That's really good. That's really good advice. I love that. Okay, so after the engagement, one fun thing that we have to talk about for girls is picking a wedding dress. Someone actually asked, sent us the DM whenever we open up the questions for this podcast and was like, do you regret your wedding dress? Do you love your wedding dress still? All those questions. But Abby, how did you pick out your wedding dress? What did that day look like? And did you just know it was the one?
I did know it was the one after trying a lot on. My mom had her dress like special made. My grandmother put all the pieces together because she wanted like a top from one dress and a bottom from one dress and a train of one dress. And she was like very particular on what she wanted. And I was like, oh boy, this is just not going to be a fun experience. Like I've done like homecoming dresses and prom dresses and stuff, and those were never easy for me. So I was like, crap, I'm just not going to have a good time with this. And actually your dress was one that I always like wanted. Like really? That was my like ideal dress. Yes. Wow. And then you wore it and I was like,
I've had somebody else say that to me too. A friend of mine was like, when you walked down the aisle, I was like, dang, because they had that similar dress picked out, but she ended up doing a similar one. I was like,
which I loved my dress that I picked anyways. But one of my prom dresses that I wore was like that cut of the top. And I was like, I want my wedding dress to be like this. And then I was like, okay, it's okay. We'll move on. We'll do it. Yeah, it was, I really loved my dress. But it was actually the first one I tried on at the second store, and I went and tried on all the other ones that I had picked out, and then I just reaffirmed that the first one was it, and it all worked out perfectly. We only were engaged for four months, and I went dress shopping like day 2 after getting engaged. So, because I was like, you don't get a wedding dress in that fast. Like if you have to order it, it takes months and months. So it just like happened to be that dress came in right on time, and alterations were all going to line up perfectly. And I was like, okay, good.
Wow. So, that's so good. Did you cry?
I teared up a good bit. I don't think I like cried and was like, I love it. But that's just not my personality.
Yeah, that's so sweet. Mary Kate, what about you? Yours was actually on TV.
Yeah, well, that's what I was just thinking about, was we actually did it on TV, but we didn't show all of it on TV because I went to Austin and I actually like kind of did some of the design process there with Sherry Hill.
Yes, that
which was
so
fun.
Cool.
It was really fun, but it was kind of crazy because I don't think I got the dress in. Like she made it, like we kind of combined 2 dresses, and she made it, and I don't think I actually tried it on till like 2 or 3 weeks before the wedding.
Really?
Like that was the first time I tried the dress on.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So when I look back, and at the time I was like, this feels kind of chancy.
A little risky?
A little bit. And so it got altered like the week. I probably got it back with alterations like the week of.
Wow.
But I loved it. I'm
So
still happy with it. Look back on it and still love
pretty.
it 10 years later.
I feel like, I hope this is true. I feel like we'll always love our wedding dress. Because it was our wedding dress.
Yeah.
Even when times change and styles change, it's like, it's your wedding dress. Like when I look at mom's wedding dress, it's obviously different than the times now, but like it's so beautiful because that was hers.
Yeah.
Ours was a fun story because I got in one dress shop right after Christian had like talked to my dad, and I knew I'd talked to my dad. This is before we got engaged, and I actually bought my dress before we got engaged. That was chancy. That was in faith.
That's funny.
Funny enough, though, I have had so many people say the same thing, that they got their dress before they got engaged. But I think nowadays, and maybe like I don't know, a lot of my friends did this. But because you have to book venues so far in advance, because the dress takes so long because of that, like you do kind of start planning the wedding a little bit even sooner than you get engaged. And I feel like so many people are embarrassed to say that. But I think that I think more people are doing it than probably will admit.
I booked my dress appointment before we got engaged because I was like, I gotta get this ball rolling if
like
I want to get married in the spring.
You kind of talking about it and whatnot. And I knew we were hoping to get married in November. Because of our schedule. He was like in school, and then his brother's baseball schedule was so crazy, so we kind of had to start talking about it earlier. And he lived in Auburn, I lived in Nashville, my parents live in Louisiana, his parents live in Florida. So to get us all together to talk about it, we all met in Nashville for like him to talk to my dad, our families to meet each other. And after we had that day, we were like, okay, we're pretty locked in. Like, we know where we're heading towards marriage. And I was actually about to go to New York the next week. And while we were all talking about this, his mom was like, oh, you should go to Kleinfeld's while you're there. And I was like, oh, should I do that? Oh my gosh, like we're not even engaged yet. This is kind of weird. And she's like, oh, just go. It'd be so fun. It's like, okay. Well, then when we left the meeting, our meeting, it sounds weird to say a meeting, but like everybody meeting and hang out. Mom was like, do you just want to go find a wedding dress shop here? So in Nashville, we went and like found a shop. It was super fun and didn't pick any of those, but it was just fun. And then we booked an appointment at Kleinfeld's for when we were going. And I was looking at their website and I screenshotted one dress, and it was like the only dress I saw that I was like, I just want to try this on. But I had no idea what I wanted. I hadn't had some girls are like, I know I want lace or I know I want this. I really wasn't sure. So I get there, I try on like every different type of dress. And I never really thought I was going to find my dress there. So I was just like having fun. And then before we left, I was like, do y'all have this dress? And I showed them the dress. And they said, we do, but we only have it in pink. And I was like, well, I'll just try it on and see if I like the style. and I told him I wanted to wear gloves. So they had like found some old like vintage gloves in a drawer that they had just so I could get the vision. And I had the pink dress on. They brought me flowers and a veil, and I started crying. I was like, oh my
I
God.
forgot you wore the gloves. They were so pretty.
And so that was really cool. But what was a little bit fun about the like process too was I wasn't going to be able to get the dress till September, and our wedding was in November. So I was like, had to just in faith just say like, okay, I want the white version, but there's a lot of different variations of white. So I wasn't sure what that was going to be. And then I ordered my gloves from somewhere else, and I didn't know what color white the dress was going to be. And so when I ordered those gloves and we got to New York in September, and I tried them on with it and they matched perfectly. It was like so fun. It was like, oh, it all came together. It was so fun. Those like magical moments in life. Magical moments. So fun.
I missed that trip.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
I missed all the
in my
trips because I was
brain,
always pregnant.
I was scanning.
Postpartum.
That is so funny because all my bridesmaids were there, and I was
Except me.
like thinking about the fact that I don't remember you being there. Yeah, that's crazy because you were with Sheppy.
Yeah.
Because you had
him a few
Sheppy
weeks later.
a few weeks later. Yeah. And I was like, now I know that was really rough to plan a wedding a month after you had a baby because Bella did it
We've
to
all
me.
done it.
And I was 9 months
both
pregnant
pregnant
at
at
your
our
wedding.
Yeah. We were both pregnant at your wedding.
That was...
Yeah, you were like 9 months pregnant though.
I've decided though I'd rather be 9 months pregnant at a wedding than a month postpartum at a wedding.
Yeah.
Because the 9 months pregnant really wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was the 3 weeks after having honey at Bella's wedding. And let me just tell you, this is really embarrassing and funny. When we went dress shopping for Bella's wedding.
I remember that day.
Do you remember this day?
I do.
And we're trying on all the bridesmaid dresses and all the bridesmaids there, and nothing was fitting me. And it was so discouraging because I was only like 4 months pregnant. And I was like, oh no, like this is not good. So I like secretly like start crying in the dressing room because my mom told me, she was like, hey, like this is what you're going to look like postpartum. And it, like, I just hadn't thought about that because, you know, you've never been there before. And I felt like my belly was pretty big. So like, this is what I'm going to look like 3 weeks after. She's like, yeah. So you definitely need to find one that fits you now. And I was like, okay. So, and I just didn't, it's like, sometimes you don't feel pretty. I just felt sad. So anyways, but I'm trying not to like take away from the moment for Bella. Well, anyways, I ordered dress, and then I didn't know my mom ordered me another one that she thought was going to work better.
I think, we talked about it.
And the one, okay, yeah.
I was because I was pregnant too. We were only like, that was with Ellen Honey, so we were only like 3 weeks apart.
Yes.
And I remembered what worked for me in your wedding postpartum.
Now that I'm a mom, the Christmas season has taken on a whole new meaning. I want my girls to grow up knowing that giving is even more special than getting. One of the sweetest ways to do that is through Operation Christmas Child. Packing a shoebox is such a simple way to show a child in need that they are seen and they are loved by God. You just fill it with toys, school supplies, accessories, whatever you think a kid would really want and love. And somewhere in the world, that box will bring a huge smile to a little face. Some of you guys might remember I had my friend and pretty much brother, Luis, on the podcast about a year or two ago now to tell his story. He grew up in Dominican Republic in an orphanage that my family got to help be a part of. He actually would get the shoe boxes each year and said he loved them so much. And so getting to hear it from someone that I love and that I know his story, just thinking about him as a kid, lighting up at Christmas, getting the shoebox, just takes it to another level of personal. And so just know, man, there is someone on the other side of the world getting these boxes and feeling so loved by God through the way that you love as you pack these shoe boxes. It is not just a gift, it's a message of hope and love of Jesus delivered through the local church. Since 2009, 24 million children have turned their hearts towards Christ after receiving a shoebox and hearing the gospel. Like, that is amazing. National Collection Week is November 17th through 24th, and boxes will be accepted at nearly 5,000 locations across the country. So don't wait. Let's pack those boxes, y'all. I'm so excited about packing them this year. We're going to do it with the kids. So visit SamaritansPurse.org/OCC to learn how to pack a shoebox or build one online. That's SamaritansPurse.org/OCC. because if you've never been postpartum, you don't quite know what that body type feels like and looks like, and it is different. And so they were like, maybe you should do this one, which was just so different than my normal style. So I went with the one I thought. They bought me in secret a backup item. Well, during her wedding, I wore the one that I liked, and everything was going great until right after the wedding, we all go for a family picture, and Christian comes walking out, and I go to hug him, and like I wrap my arms around it. Both of my straps, which aren't buttoned, by the way. They're not like, they're not like nursing straps where they're supposed to undo. They're like stitched straps. Yeah. Just pop.
I do remember that.
And I say, don't let go of me. Don't let go of me. So Christian has to like hug me and walk inside. I get inside, the dress just falls off me. I'm like, thank the Lord that happened after the wedding. And then mom's like, I actually ordered you another dress. So then I get to wear my backup dress.
It worked out.
I know. And then remember all the bridesmaids like went out for Bella's thing, and we danced to Get In There. Yeah. What's that song?
Wobble.
We danced to Wobble, and I had Honey strapped to me with my new bridesmaid dress. And after that, I went inside and I literally fell asleep on the floor. Lainey held Honey, and I fell asleep on the floor. That was so crazy.
Sat on the couch.
That was you did with too. Ella. We were both so postpartum. It was so fun though. Like we've all done it for all of the weddings, and it's been really fun. Yep. Oh gosh. Okay. So wedding, what was your wedding theme? Abby, what was y'all's kind of like theme? Y'all's was so fun.
We did all black, or all of our guests wore black, and we just had simple. I was like, I want classic, modern, timeless, like just, I didn't want any color really other than green, but yeah, that's good for us.
The after the wedding, the jazz thing.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah, your mom actually came up with that. She was like, what if we do a second line like they do in like New Orleans and stuff after weddings? And I was like, weird. I was like, I don't know about that, but maybe. And then we started thinking about it more and more. And I was like, well, we have to get people from point A to point B. And instead of just walking over there in silence, like, let's just do it. And my brother was in band in high school, so he got some of his buddies, and that was our little band.
So fun.
I didn't realize that they did it. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah,
I love that.
Really sweet. Yeah. That was fun. That was cute.
That was really fun. Y'all's theme was your wedding was so fun.
It was fun.
What would you say the theme of it was?
I don't know. Outside. We were just outside.
It was.
Outside.
I like the food trucks.
In Louisiana in June.
Fireworks.
Just, it was just fun. It was just fun.
So
we had a lot of flowers, just a lot of band and music.
Mark Ballas performed with BC. That was fun.
And then Ben Rector. Yeah,
that was so fun.
Reed did something. It was just fun.
It was really fun.
And then we had our favorite
so different and so fun in both at the farm. It was like modern, timeless, all black, DJ, like all that. And then y'all's was like band, outdoorsy, like very colorful. Your flowers were super colorful. You were like only green. That's so funny. It was so different.
All the variations that have happened at the farm.
And ours was like nighttime. I was thinking like night garden. That's what I wanted it to look like in the tennis court.
So
and it was so fun. I like that tennis court transformation. When mom had that idea, and I was like, no, weird, get married on a tennis court. And then it was like so cool.
It was really cool.
Shout out to mom. She had the vision.
She does.
She had the vision. All right, let's see if there's any questions that some people sent in that we want to make sure that we answer. If you could do it over again, what would you change about your wedding day? I was thinking about this. I don't think I would change this. I just would have prepared for this a little bit better. We had so many people at our wedding. It was like a huge wedding. And I think like there's so much beauty to small weddings now that I've had a really big wedding that I'm like, oh, that's fun because it's so intimate. It's just your people. But the big wedding was so fun and there were so many people and there was energy and it was fun for that reason. But I felt like Christian and I were getting pulled in every direction, talking to so many people. And there were so many people from his family I hadn't met because they live in a different state. There were so many people, my family, he hadn't met. We hadn't met so many of our friends. So I felt like we were meeting people, like most of the reception, which was sweet because when else would we have really spent that time with all of our people in one place? But I feel like we didn't even have time to eat. Like we didn't have time to like sit and be like, whoa. Except for one moment, which is one of my favorite moments of our whole wedding, is we looked at each other during the whole reception, and it was so crazy. We were like, let's go hide. And we ran to the wine bar and like crouched down and hid behind it. And we were like, we just got married. And that is like one of my favorite memories ever. So I don't know that I would change going from a big wedding to a small wedding because there's beauty to it. But I would have been a little bit more intentional with making sure Christian and I had our private moments so that we didn't feel so crazy pulled. Like I've seen a lot of brides and grooms, like they go eat somewhere else and then come. That's a good idea. Like that's a good idea because that was a little crazy.
I feel like we were kind of the opposite. I feel like we didn't really like talk to anybody really our whole wedding night. Like we kind of unintentionally had like a photo line after we cut our cake. We kind of got trapped in there, and we talked to like a few of those people. But other than that, like we really were locked in with one another. And even though all of our people were there, we just like were tunnel vision on each other. And I think that was like so beautiful, and I loved every bit of it. But I wish we did take a minute to like look out into the audience and say like, look at all of our people. Those like, because that's really the only time that everyone that you know and love are going to be together in one place. And I just wish we were a little more. I wish I had thought of that and was a little more intentional at like honoring the people that we love. And
that's cool. Like a different perspective because I think there is so much beauty to all of them being in the same place. But it's like that balance of having eyes for each other, but also acknowledging the room. Yeah. One thing Christian and I did in that moment was we held hands like the whole time. Even if I was talking to these people and he was talking to those people, I felt like we were together, but we were just like so much going on. So yeah, I think those are things you don't really think about before the day, but it'd be cool for those of you who are engaged to like think about how you and your spouse are going to kind of like navigate that. Because there's beauty to both. Do you have anything you'd change?
Some of my flowers got messed up.
I wasn't going to say it. I remember that. I didn't know if you remember that.
That was it. Nothing else. A very minor.
I've heard.
Honestly, don't care about it now, but I did.
Well, you were
right
afterwards.
I was sad about it,
and so that was what was upsetting because it didn't match the flower crown.
I know, that was it. That was fun. It was great.
So fun.
Such a cute flower crown, though.
I really liked it. Still like it. Still happy about it. I know it was kind of a trendy thing then, but I liked it.
It was
beautiful. I still like it.
It fit you well.
Thanks.
How do you not get frustrated with your fiance when you're doing all the work? Oh snap!
That is just a whole lifelong thing, though. That's not just a
Because I was gonna say that's in every stage, but I think this is what came to mind whenever I read that is the quote: "Expectation without communication results in frustration." If you have an expectation that your fiance or your husband or whoever is supposed to be doing something they're not doing, but you haven't communicated to them that you hope that they would help you with this or that they need to be helping you with this, then you can't get frustrated because they might not know that you're expecting them to do that. I think communication goes such a long way because most of the time if you ask them to help, they'll probably be willing to help you instead of just like being frustrated that they're not thinking about it. And you also have to acknowledge, like, I think for us in the stage we're at now, like parenting looks different for like the mom and the dad sometimes, you know, and there are just things that the mother is naturally going to do and the mother naturally has to do, like feed the baby. Like for me, I have to be the one to wake up in the night because I'm feeding her with my own body, you know, and then I feel like I naturally comfort them more because I'm a nurturer and the mom, like that kind of thing. There's things that Christian does that I'm not as good at. Like he's the on the ground playing rough, getting them going, like that kind of thing. And we also just have to be okay knowing that like my responsibilities look different than his and not comparing what his is to mine and just being okay that he's being the best dad, I'm being the best mom. And that's going to look different and the workload is going to look a little different.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking whenever I said that about like that's just a lifelong. These have there's different roles, different responsibilities, you know, and you can talk about it and if you don't feel like something's fair in it, but you know, it just looks different.
A lot of it is just, to me, like acknowledging it and seeing the other person. Like, I
What all
don't really
they are
need
doing.
Christian to do it, but if he encourages me, it goes a long way.
Yeah,
if
that's
he
so
says
true.
like,
So
hey,
true.
you're doing a great job, thanks for handling all that, or vice versa. Like for me lately, like mornings are so crazy, and when he helps me out with that, I'm like, hey, thank you so much. That made it so much easier to get them ready when you did that.
Yeah.
You know, like seeing what each other's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they actually want to help.
Yeah.
You know, you just have to communicate like how you want them to.
What would be helpful? Abby, you got anything on that?
I was thinking back to like what we did like in real life, and I gave Will like certain things, kind of like a to-do list of like all the things that I wanted him to accomplish or like think about, or you know, whatever it may be. And then all the things, like he kind of was like, I don't care what it looks like or anything, but I want to like be involved in doing. So anything that was like colors, flowers, tablecloths, like signage, like all of that stuff, I just like, we talked about it together. And I feel like that kind of relieved not my frustration, but just like the weight of all the wedding planning things. So
Just being in on it together.
Yeah.
Is so helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I think one more that would be a good question for y'all to answer is moving across the country when we get married, but I'm sad to leave family / home. Any advice for moving after getting married? For Christian and I, we were opposite. We had lived, you know, all over the place. And then when we got married, we lived together in Auburn. So we were away for a little bit, but then COVID hit and we were like smack dab in the middle of family and like quarantined together. But you guys both moved away. So what was that like right after getting married, moving away? Advice to people kind of in that stage.
You can go first if you have something.
looking. We did long distance basically our whole relationship. So when it was time to like settle down and be together, I feel like that was just what it was. Like it didn't matter where we were or what we were doing. If we were together, it was just perfect. Like, I don't know. It just is like what we wanted to do. So, and as hard as it was to be away from my family, because I'm a big family girl. Like I don't leave my family often. We talk every day. I was with him, so it just made it worth it. So yeah, as hard as it was, and as much as I missed my family, it was just like such a perfect time for us to grow together away from our family and establish our own like relationship dynamic, because we really like we never had that like everyday time together because we were long distance. So yeah, it was fun and hard, but it was so good.
It's so good.
I felt the same way. It was fun and it was hard. Like just because it's hard doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
And it's bad.
Yeah.
You know, I think just
wouldn't change it
remembering
for
that
anything.
too.
Yeah.
Just because it is just going to be hard, but it doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
And, it was good for us, and there was a lot of fun in it too.
And I think too, like a lot of people say, "Oh, the first year's the hardest" or whatever. That's not true for everybody. Some scenarios it is the hardest. For us, the first year was kind of the easiest, and then things have gotten harder in different ways. And like year 3, that was pretty hard. Like now we're on year 6. Like there's different years. So I think sometimes people will say, "Oh, that's gonna be really hard when you do that," but that might have been unique to that person's situation.
Yeah.
And because for us, when we moved to Auburn, it was just so fun. Like we. Like you kind of said, it's like we just got married. We're so excited. We had been long distance. Like we're together. In those 3 months, like we look back at those 3 months, we're like, we didn't realize how fun that even, like it was fun, and we knew it was fun. But we didn't know like how fun. And that time was never going to really be given back in a sense of like, we watched movies all the time. We just did fun nights, all this stuff. Whereas now it's like, when's the last time we just sat and like watched a movie without, getting interrupted? We can't even watch a movie right now. We have 3 kids. Like it's so crazy. We'd have to go to a movie. We'd sit in our bed and like laugh, watch a movie. We had Cabo. We just got her. We were like, I was going every day while Christian went to class. I was walking outside trying to teach Cabo how to walk on a leash, which I didn't do a very good job at because that dog cannot walk in a straight line. But like just fun memories, being together and just doing whatever we wanted because we had the time to do it.
Yeah.
And so when you do get married, for those listening, if you're at that stage of like stepping into early marriage, like enjoy it. Everyone's gonna tell you it's gonna be hard. Yes, it's gonna be hard. Marriage is hard. Life is hard. But like enjoy those freedoms. Enjoy that fun. Enjoy being in each other's company. Being undistracted. Really developing that relationship between the two of you outside of your family. You're now a family. Y'all have the same last name. What that dynamic's go. Like even the conversations about the future. Like I think about so many things we talked about year one that now we're living in, we're walking in, dreaming about kids. Now we know their names. Now we know who they are. Like it's go time, you know? So it's so special. But this has been so fun. I loved hearing y'all's stories and recapping and thinking back. It's fun because like we see each other's life, but then you don't know all the little details and the ins and outs. So thanks for sharing and giving such good advice, girls.
Thanks for having us.
It was so much fun.